Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking beyond the typical generative AI, the kind that just gives you answers.
Yeah.
We're really digging into how you build something proactive, something that
Yeah.
takes action.
Exactly. Think about an AI worker that doesn't just chat. It's actually checking your live calendar. It's booking meetings for specific times. And then get this, it automatically logs the whole thing in your backend systems. Now that is a real AI worker, autonomous.
Mm-hmm. So our mission today is pretty focused.
Yeah.
We want to break down the architecture that turns a basic voice agent into, well, a genuinely useful automated service provider. We'll be looking closely at sources detailing VAP, that's the voice platform, and n8n, which acts as the automation engine behind it all.
Yeah, we're covering the whole stack, how to create the agent's special abilities or tools, some clever system prompt techniques, how to get structured reports out of it, and importantly, the best practices you absolutely need for making this production ready, running 24/7. Basically, you're getting a shortcut here, a blueprint for building a reliable, autonomous AI service agent. So let's unpack it.
Okay, let's start with those abilities, the superpowers. How do we get the AI to do more than just talk?
Right. This is the big shift, isn't it? Moving from just being like a knowledgeable receptionist, which we might have covered before, to an agent that actually does things. The example we're looking at is an appointment booker for a fictional newsletter company, AI Fire. The agent needs to chat, sure, but crucially, it has to check calendar availability and then actually commit to putting an event on the calendar.
And these actions, these superpowers, they live inside Vapi, specifically in the tool section, is that right?
That's it. And what the source material really emphasizes is not building one giant do-everything booking tool. Instead, you break it down. You segment the tasks.
Why is that segmentation important? Why split checking availability from actually creating the event?
It's all about making it robust, reducing the chances of something going wrong mid-flow. So tool number one is check availability. The description is dead simple. Use this tool to check the calendar to see when there are available time slots. That's its only job.
Okay, focused. And tool two.
Tool two is create event. This one handles the actual booking, the commitment. Its description says, use this tool to create a calendar event booking. And a really key point, these tools don't do anything until you've actually connected your Google Calendar account. That happens over in Vapi's Integrations tab first.
Got it. Connect the account, then build the specific tools.
Right. Once the tools exist, you create the assistant itself. Let's call it the booking agent. Now, a critical setting here is the AI model. The recommendation is to use the GPT-4o cluster.
GPT-4o cluster. Why that specific one?
It's kind of the sweet spot. It's fast, it's pretty good with logical tasks like scheduling, and this matters when you scale. It's cheaper than the full GPT-4 model. Think about thousands of calls a day. Those costs add up.
That makes sense. So that deliberate split-checking availability versus creating the event,
Yeah.
it feels like it builds in resilience. If you ask one tool to do both, maybe the agent gets confused if the user, changes their mind halfway through.
Exactly. Focus ensures reliability. Basically, one function per tool helps prevent those complex execution errors.
Okay, so we have the tools. Now what about the agent's brain, the system prompt? That sounds like where the real magic happens.
It really is. The system prompt defines everything: the agent's personality, its main goal, the specific rules it must follow. And here's a smart shortcut the sources mention. Don't try to write this super complex prompt entirely from scratch. It's hard. Instead, use an AI like ChatGPT to draft the first version for you.
Use the AI to help build the AI.
It got it.
Yeah.
You tell the drafting AI, okay, the persona is John from AI Fire. The main goal is booking appointments, period. And then you add specific non-negotiable rules. Like the example rule is, before booking, Jano must ask for the email address, and then he has to confirm the spelling by reading back the characters before the @ symbol, like AIFIRE@example.com.
That level of detail.
Yeah.
It's impressive. It moves it from feeling like a basic bot to something, well, more trustworthy. I have to admit, prompt engineering can be tough. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes. Getting the AI to consistently follow those specific instructions isn't always easy.
Oh, absolutely. It's an ongoing challenge.
So to help with consistency, especially for scheduling, the sources suggest a specific sort of hack for the system prompt.
Yeah, it's a really clever pro tip. You embed a little piece of code right into the system prompt itself. It looks like this. Today's date and time is now date. Beep, beep, percent, Maracasite, Bavarica's, America, Chicago, etc.
Okay, what does that code snippet actually do?
It injects the current date and time right when the call starts directly into the AI's context. Think about it. If a call starts at 11:58 p.m. and the user says book it for tomorrow, how does the AI know what tomorrow means?
Ah, without this, it might use its training data cutoff date, which could be months old.
Precisely. This little variable gives it perfect real-time awareness. It stops those kinds of errors cold. So, if the AI helps write the prompt, what's the single most vital human touch for scheduling?
It sounds like it's that date time variable. That ensures it handles references like tomorrow or next Tuesday correctly.
The date-time variable ensures accurate scheduling references like tomorrow.
Exactly. All right, so we've engineered the tools in the brain. Did the test actually work seamlessly?
Yeah, the walkthrough sounds pretty smooth, so the user kicks it off. Can I schedule for tomorrow at 4 p.m.? Immediately, the agent fires off the check availability tool. And you can see this happen in real time in the Vapi call logs, which is great for debugging.
Okay, it checks the calendar.
Finds the slot is open, confirms it, and then crucially, it follows that specific rule we programmed. It asks, okay, great, could I get your email address to finalize the booking?
And this is the moment of truth for that detailed prompt engineering, right? The
Yeah.
email confirmation.
Yes, the user gives the email, say, aifire@example.com. The agent comes back with, got it. Just to confirm, that's AIFIRE
Yeah.
at example.com. Correct. Spelling it out, just like the rule dictated. Perfect execution.
Wow. Okay, so that specific instruction stuck.
It did. The user confirms, and boom, the agent immediately calls the second tool, create event. And then almost instantly, the appointment pops up in the connected Google Calendar. Correct time, correct duration. The example used 1.5 hours, and with the user's email added as an attendee.
That does sound seamless.
Yeah.
So what specific part of that test really proved the AI-written prompt was high quality?
I'd say the agent confirming the email by spelling individual letters, that demonstrated really high detail awareness and rule following.
Okay, the booking works, but that's just one interaction logged in Vapi and Google Calendar. How do we connect this to the rest of the business, make it part of a larger workflow?
This is where the real automation power comes in, using n8n. And the key starts back in Vapi in the Analysis tab. You set up something called structured data extraction.
Structured data extraction. What does that mean exactly?
It means you're not just getting a raw transcript of the call, which is, frankly, hard for other systems to use reliably. Instead, you tell Vapi exactly what pieces of information you want to pull out from the conversation.
So instead of the whole conversation, you define specific fields.
Precisely. You define properties like, say, appointment type, email address, appointment date time, maybe even a short call summary. This turns the messy conversation into clean, predictable, machine-readable data, usually a JSON object.
But why is that structure so important? Couldn't you just send the whole transcript to another AI later and have it figure out the details?
You could try, but unstructured data is brittle for automation. If you want this to reliably feed into a database or update your CRM or even just populate a spreadsheet cleanly every single time, you need that predictable structure. Structured data is essential for reliable integration into databases, CRMs, and spreadsheets.
Right. Consistency is key for automation. So we extract this structured data. Then what?
Then we send it over to n8n. The sources highlight n8n probably because it's really good at handling these kinds of incoming webhooks and allows for pretty complex logic later on if you need it.
Okay, so how does Vapi talk to n8n?
You set up a webhook trigger node in n8n first. Make sure it's set to listen for the POST method that's important for security and how Vapi sends data. n8n gives you a unique URL for this webhook.
And you paste that URL back into Vapi.
Exactly. In Vapi's advanced settings for the agent, you paste that n8n webhook URL, and critically, you configure Vapi to only send the end of call report, which contains that nice structured data we defined earlier. You don't necessarily need data mid-call for this use case.
Okay, so Vapi call ends. Structured data package is sent to the n8n webhook. What happens inside n8n then?
The workflow instantly triggers. Step 1. Webhook receives the data. Step 2 could be, for example, a Google Sheets node. You configure it to take the incoming variables email address, appointment type, appointment date time, call summary, and append them as a neat new row in your spreadsheet.
Ah, so it's like automatically logging every booking into a central sheet, almost like building your own database entry by entry.
Yeah, like stacking Lego blocks of data, exactly. And you can add more steps, maybe a Gmail node right after to send a quick notification email to the sales team saying, hey, new appointment booked, with summary.
Very cool. And then making it live, what's the final step for production?
This is super important. n8n gives you separate URLs for testing and for production. Once you've tested everything using the test URL, you must copy the production URL from n8n, go back into Vapi settings, replace the test URL with the production one, and then the final click, toggle your n8n workflow to active. Now it's live, ready to run 24/7.
Got it. test, confirm, then switch to the production URL and activate. So once this basic booking and logging system is running, the potential seems huge. Whoa! I mean, imagine scaling this core system, handling, I don't know, 1 billion queries across a massive organization. That Vapi and n8n connection, it feels like a foundational piece for some serious automation.
It absolutely is. That core pattern voice interaction, structured data extraction, webhook to automation platform is incredibly powerful and scalable. The simple booking and logging we discussed, that's just scratching the surface.
So what comes next? What are the more advanced possibilities?
Well, think about CRM integration. Because we have that structured data, like the email address, your n8n workflow could easily look up that email in your HubSpot or Salesforce. If the contact exists, update their record with notes from the call summary if it's a new person. Create a new contact automatically. No manual data entry needed.
That saves a ton of time. And you mentioned logic earlier.
Right. This is where n8n really shines. You can add IF nodes, conditional logic. So if the call summary contains keywords like complaint or unhappy, the workflow could automatically create a high-priority support ticket in Zendesk or whatever you use. But if the summary mentions interested in enterprise plan or something high value, maybe it triggers a different path, adding them to a specific sales sequence, alerting a senior account manager immediately. It's real-time intelligent routing based on the conversation content.
That ability to use conditional logic to triage issues or opportunities seems incredibly valuable. If you're using that logic, what's probably the most high-value immediate action you could trigger?
I'd say creating a support ticket and instantly notifying a manager when a complaint is detected. That rapid response can save a customer relationship.
Makes sense. Okay, so we have this powerful agent and back-end automation. How do we actually let people call it? Give it a phone number.
Vapi makes that pretty easy, too. They actually provide up to 10 free U.S. phone numbers right within their platform. You can just grab one, configure it to point directly to the booking agent we designed, and boom, it's public.
10 free numbers is quite generous. What if you already have business numbers?
Right.
Maybe with another provider like Twilio.
You can import those too. Vapi allows you to bring your existing numbers over so your customers don't have to learn a new number. It maintains that consistency.
All right, let's shift to some practicalities. Cost is always a factor. How does the pricing work for something like this? Is it expensive to run?
It's typically a pay-as-you-go model, which is nice. The source material actually gives an example after running multiple test calls for that whole booking flow we described. It only used about 1.6 credits.
1.6 credits. That sounds really affordable. But I assume that's for, like, the perfect scenario, the happy path test.
That's a fair assumption, yeah.
What happens if a call gets complicated? If the user makes the agent use the check availability tool 5 times because they keep changing their mind? Or if we decide we need the absolute best reasoning and switch from GPT-4 cluster to the full GPT-4 model, where do the costs really come from?
Great points. The main things that drive up cost are, first, the AI model you choose. Full GPT-4 will cost more per minute than GPT-4o cluster, definitely. Second is simply the call duration. Longer calls cost more. And third, as you pointed out, is the number of tool calls. Every time the agent has to make an external call, like checking the calendar or creating the event, that usually incurs a small cost. So, efficient prompting that gets the job done with fewer tool calls, that's key for keeping operational costs low, especially at scale.
Okay, cost management is one thing. What about making the agent reliable, resilient, building something that's ready for the messy real world?
Resilience testing is critical. You absolutely have to test the happy path where everything goes perfectly, but that's not enough. You need to test edge cases. What happens when the user gives an unclear request? What if they change their mind repeatedly?
And I guess, how does it handle difficult callers?
Exactly. You need to test the frustrated caller scenario. Does the agent remain calm, stick to its script, stay helpful, or does it break down? And related to that is tool failure planning. Keep your tools focused, doing one thing well, but also explicitly tell the agent in the prompt what to do if a tool fails. If the Google Calendar API is down or throws an error, the agent needs instructions. Something like, if a tool fails, apologize to the user, explain you're having technical difficulties, and offer to take a message or have a human call them back.
Planning for failure. Okay. What about common issues people run into once these agents are live? Are there quick fixes?
Yeah, there are a few common ones. Sometimes agents get repetitive. The fix: go back to the system prompt and reinforce the rule. Never repeat information you have already stated clearly.
Okay, what else?
Giving out wrong times for appointments, that often comes down to time zone confusion. So double check the time zone settings in Vapi in your calendar, and definitely make sure that expression in the prompt includes the correct time zone, like America Chicago in the example.
Alignment is key.
Yeah.
Anything for making it sound less robotic.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes the default voice just doesn't sound right. Try changing the voice provider or the specific voice model within Vapi. Also, you can explicitly tell the agent in the prompt to speak naturally, like a helpful human colleague. Use contractions where appropriate. Loosen up the style guide a bit.
Good tips. Now, a trickier one. What happens if the agent starts, hallucinating, making things up, giving incorrect information about policies or something sensitive? Given how important consistency is, what's the crucial fix there?
Right, that's a big one. If it starts going off script with facts or policies, force the agent to check its knowledge base before providing any policy answers. You need to ground it firmly in verified information.
Grounding. Makes sense. Okay, let's pull this all together. What we've really outlined today is a blueprint, isn't it? Moving AI from just a concept or a fun tool into a genuine autonomous worker integrated into business processes. You've got Vapi handling the voice, the understanding, the action tools, and then n8n providing that robust, scalable automation backbone to connect it all, log the data, and trigger downstream actions.
And the impact is potentially massive. We're seeing sources talk about businesses cutting customer service costs by like 60 to 80%, and maybe even more importantly, dropping lead response times from hours or even days down to seconds. This architecture, it turns AI from a cool idea into a 247 operational asset that can directly impact the bottom line.
The pieces seem to be there. The tech feels mature enough. The latency is getting incredibly low. The architectures like this one are being proven out. It feels like the market is really ready for this level of automation.
It absolutely is. And the competitive advantage, well, it's going to go to those who build this capability first. The question for you listening isn't really if this kind of AI worker becomes standard. It's more like, will you be ready to build it? Or will you be playing catch up while others are already reaping the benefits?
A powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We encourage you to really think about how structured data extraction and conditional automation logic could start transforming your own workflows.
Definitely food for thought. We'll see you next time.